Hello again, I'm back. I'm going to read over the syllabus with you. I'm not going to hit everything in the syllabus, but the high points and just kind of clarify some things, kind of like I would in a live class meeting. So let me get it shared with you. I'm gonna go back to our class homepage, so it just kind of refreshes you and reminds you that you can get to everything from here. So when you click on syllabus, it will download and then you can open the file. And now that I'm thinking about this, I may need to reshare. Let's see. Here we go. Don't you always have little glitches when you're trying to do something online? Okay, so I'm going to stop this share. And now that the syllabus is open, it wants me to reopen the share. There we go. Okay, so again, don't worry if this isn't your class number. All the information is exactly the same. Okay. Got a couple of sections this semester, so. Okay, so basic information at the top, my name, email address. You can either email me on Canvas, message me on Canvas, that comes into my email, or use my email address, either one. I do ask that you allow at least 24 hours before a response. I've got a lot going on. I've got 2 kids at home who are in school. A lot of times I'm online teaching. So I definitely need the time to respond. Okay? If it's something, again, that you might be able to figure out from a classmate that's important for the assignment that you're working on, please do me a favor and go on to the 3 Before Me message board. Again, this is a totally asynchronous class, meaning that we have no live meeting times. Everything will be posted online for you. I normally require a text, but since I'm recording lectures and I'm showing images a little differently to you because we're online, I'm going to say that I suggest it. I highly suggest it because it's going to be helpful with exams. I don't have grand illusions that everybody's going to buy it. Okay. They do have this in the campus bookstore. The best place to get it is online. You can get a 6-month prescription, not prescription. You don't want a 6-month prescription. A 6-month subscription to the textbook from the publisher, and there's a link here on your syllabus that you can see where you could get that. Okay. It is the 5th revised edition of Lazari's Exploring Art. Okay. I will be showing all the images and giving you the pertinent information about the images, and I will also post those for exams, and I'll explain that just in a little bit. I will post those for exams so you can see which images you'll need to know for the exams. So if you can't get the book, I think you'll be okay without it. I do suggest you get it. Okay? It's kind of one of those things that, it's helpful when you're taking the test, especially if you're not a great note taker. Okay? And you're going to need to be, so practice and make sure you're taking notes. Okay. I also do projects with the class occasionally, so I will have you, I'll post examples of, hey, I have a fun project for you to do with some colored pencils and white paper. Hey, I have a fun project for you to do with markers and white paper. Things like that. So I want you to have a package of colored pencils and markers and some loose white printer paper. Okay. These are not things you have to run out and buy. Use what you have at home. Okay, hopefully you have some colored pencils at home. If not, Crayola colored pencils are perfect for this. Okay, $1.25, $2 for a pack of 8 colored pencils, Crayola colored pencils. Okay, perfect. Okay. Nothing extraordinary or fantastic or elaborate or fancy. You just need a good pack of Crayola colored pencils will do you good. Okay. You should always have colored pencils and markers. You need to be creative sometimes. Okay, what I do with these is I do a couple of projects a semester, and it helps you kind of helps pump up your grade, but also helps you just understand kind of the process that artists go through being creative. It also, you know, just puts a little fun in there for you for the week. Okay, course objectives. I'm not going to talk too much about these. I'm going to kind of summarize these a little bit. We're going to be learning about different terms in art, different methods, materials that they work with, how artists work. We'll talk about some key terms to understanding art and looking at art. We'll talk about analyzing art and seeing it in a better way. I think one of the things that I come across mostly when I talk to people about art is they find it confusing, or they find it frustrating because it's confusing. So I will teach you how to look at it and kind of see what the artist is doing, and also take into consideration that a lot of times we put into art what we think it's about, or what our perceptions or our world is about. And really, looking at art, you have to take a step back and look at it from their direction. You didn't create it. It's not about your world, it's about theirs. So if you really want to understand it, not be confused about it, that's how you do it. So we'll talk a lot about cultural context or context of work, understanding where it came from. With this class, you'll be, like I said, analyzing, looking at both historical and contemporary art, thinking about subject matter and symbology, looking at different styles of art. So we're going to be looking at global art. We're not just looking at Western art, and we're looking at art from a historical aspect, but also from a contemporary or today's, what's going on in today's art world. Class format. I will weekly post a video for you, possibly 2, because we're an 8-week class, it's a little faster. Okay, so possibly 1 to 2 videos a week on lectures, on work, and then short exercises, projects, and assignments to go along with those lectures. Let's see. Okay. Aside from watching lectures and taking notes, which is going to be highly important, that taking notes part, you're going to hear me say that a lot. Aside from watching lectures and taking notes, you're going to have work to do, like I said, short exercises, assignments, projects. This is probably going to be, aside from you just watching the videos, an additional 3 hours worth of work a week. Okay? Not every week, but that's pretty good assumption. This class, when it's live, runs about 4 hours a week. So it's about an hour and 45-minute class regularly. So you want to make sure that you're spending that amount of time. That's what it's going to take. Okay, art disclaimer. If you think about art, art is about a culture. It's about a time period and a culture. And every culture is based upon 3 things. And these 3 things, even though they're a natural part of human history since the beginning, they are hot topics for people to be flustered by or irritated by or you know, revved up by. But we have to talk about those and look at those things, because that is what makes up culture. Culture is based upon sexuality, humanity, religion, and government. Okay, sexual and humanity together, religion and government. Okay. So art reflects that culture. Art reflects what's going on in a culture and society. So you can't look at art and not see things that are going on in that society and that culture. So things about government, things about war, things about sexuality, things about religion. Okay? And what you need to remember when looking at these is that it's not about, again, about you, it's about them. Okay? So yes, you may find something controversial or offensive, but again, it's not about you, it's about looking at their artwork and their perspective of it. Okay? If you have a problem with something that the book is talking about or something I speak about in the lecture, these are good things to email me about or get on office hours and let's talk about them live together and be able to discuss. Okay? Normally I present it in a way that everybody understands they're not, it may not be your thing, may not be what you like, but okay, you have to remember it's also not about you. It's about the person that is making the work. Okay? It's about the artist. Okay, coursework. Please, as I said, I have the, I have suggested that you get the textbook rather than buying the textbook. Okay, so if you get it, I would prefer if you read ahead. That's one of the things that will be helpful during tests and exams and understanding the lectures as we go. Since you can't ask live questions as I'm lecturing, a lot of times if you pre-read, it will help you understand what I'm talking about. Assignments and projects, I mentioned that. There will be a few projects that you will upload those in a discussion file situation or an assignment file situation that will, and that's how you'll turn those in. Assignments, those vary. Sometimes I do discussion boards. Sometimes it's a, compare compare two works together. Sometimes it's let's look at the formal qualities such as line, color, texture in an advertisement. So those come in different forms. We will have exams and quizzes. There will be at least 3 exams. Now, I say exams / quizzes because online I've been doing these shorter. It doesn't mean that they're any easier because they're usually multi-answer questions. So I do them open note and open book. I give you a time span to take it. I don't do it on Proctoro, or I don't, have them proctored. What I do is I post the exam or the quiz for you. I give you a range of 2 to 3 days to complete it, but it is timed. So once you start the test, you have so much time to finish it. Okay? Because of that, most people find it complicated because they think, oh, I don't need to study. It's open note, open book. I don't need to highlight things in my book and my notes to make sure I'm ready and prepared. But you do, really. You need to do that. You need to be able to find things quickly. So you definitely want to study and pull things out that you'll need and make sure you're prepared for it. Okay. So again, how I do this is I post it. You have 2 to 3 days to complete it. So it's not just at one time period. And okay, then once you start it, you have a certain amount of time to finish it. Okay. So let's say I post it on Sunday and I give you until Wednesday to finish it. Okay. So you can decide to sit down anytime between Sunday and Wednesday to do the exam, but you want to make sure that you really have enough time because you only have one chance and it will be a time limited chance. Okay, so you need to make sure that you have the time to focus, you studied, you have quiet, you can be able to focus, okay? Okay. You have one paper due this semester. It is a virtual museum. I had people really confused about this. How am I supposed to go to a museum? Everything's closed. Okay. The great thing about everything being closed as far as museums recently is that a lot of the museums have put their full collection online for people to see. So there is a way to visit museums that you might not ever be able to go to virtually. So I've listed 4 here that I suggest. And I will go over this in length later about what exactly you need to be looking at in the paper, or what you need to be addressing in the paper. Okay? I don't want anybody to worry about this right this second. I'll do a whole lecture or a whole video just on how to write your paper and what you need to be taking down, okay? Okay. Late assignments, projects, and papers will not be accepted. No late assignments, projects, and papers will be accepted unless in case of a documented emergency. Okay. Because we're all online, it's very easy to fall behind. Because we're all online, it's also very easy to think, oh, I can just turn it in late, it's no big deal. Okay. Yes, it is. Okay. It is, because you need to make sure you're really getting through your class in an efficient manner. And then also, you have to think, I have to go back in and open things up and then count it late, and it's a lot of extra work for me. Okay. So if you've got something going on, yes, contact me. That's what I'm here for. If there's something happening that's preventing you, Wi-Fi issues, whatever, let me know. Those things happen, and I completely understand that, believe me. Okay. If it's just because you got behind, okay, you need to keep up. I get we get behind, but make sure that you're taking this seriously. Okay. This is your job right now, right? Okay. You take a class, it is a job, you need to make sure you're doing the job. Make sure that you're really paying attention to due dates and times. Those will vary. Sometimes assignments you'll have 3 or 4 days, sometimes you'll have a week, sometimes you might only have a couple of days. Okay, so just make sure that you're looking at due dates of things when they're posted, and I always send out an announcement when I post an assignment. So make sure you're looking at due dates and times. Those times are really important. Normally I say until midnight of the day, is 11:59 is what it usually sets it at. So that's normally when I'll set it. Okay, but just make sure that make sure you're really paying attention to those. Okay, communication assistance. I think I've made myself very clear at this point that you can and should email me if you're having any problems. Get on my live office hours and come visit me if you're having problems or concerns. Okay? That's what I'm here for. I know I seem very out of reach because we're all online. I am not. Please know that my first priority when teaching is to be here for my students. Make sure you're learning and you're feeling like you're getting what you need. So please, if you're having a difficult time, please make sure you contact me. You've already learned that my house is crazy. Okay? No matter how quiet I tell everybody to be. I've now had my mom get on the phone. I don't know if anybody heard that. My mother lives with us. My daughter is playing a video game with her friend online, and they're laughing. And now my dog's barking. So as much as I get it that it's crazy when you're trying to do things, your schoolwork and things. It definitely happens. If English is your second language and you have a difficult time writing your paper, you obviously can't go to the library, but they do have the writing center set up to still help people online. Make sure you're utilizing that if you really need it. Your paper should be properly formatted and things like that. So you want to make sure that, even as you're answering questions and things like that, you want to make sure that grammar and spelling, you're in college, right? So we need to make sure that those things are properly completed. Grading criteria, I grade everything on a point system. Okay, so tests are usually anywhere from 50 to 75 points. Your formal analysis paper, about 70, I usually make it an exam grade, and then that way it helps you if you haven't done well on an exam, then you want to make sure you get your paper in. Assignments are usually 30 points a piece. I do grade for participation as well, meaning are you getting on the discussion boards and discussing? Are you, coming to office hours when you're having trouble? Are you turning in all your assignments on time? Those are, things that, again, help your grade. So make sure you're keeping up and paying attention and being participatory in class, even though it's online. Okay. This doesn't really apply to you other than the participation. You don't have to clean anything up. I just realized that's in there from one of my studio classes. That's kind of funny. Okay. When I talk about attendance, attendance means, are you watching the videos? Are you participating in discussion boards? Okay. Those kinds of things. Make sure that you understand that this is a college class. You cannot expect to get an A, B, or even a C if you're missing several assignments or projects. You didn't do well on several of the tests. yes, I will work with you as much as I possibly can, but you have to be working too, okay? So make sure that you're really staying on top of things. I know I keep saying that, but it's definitely hard right now for students to stay on top of things. So you need to make sure that you're really, really, you know, got yourself scheduled and focused. Academic dishonesty, don't cheat. It's not worth it. Write your own papers, do your own tests. Okay? Yes, it's harder to figure out right now, but it doesn't mean that people still can't, and there are ways, believe me, I know when papers aren't written by people, especially right now, because you write one way in your assignments and it's drastically different in your papers. I've already had somebody try to do that this semester. Just don't do it. It's not worth it. Okay? Getting in trouble and getting kicked out of the college, it's not worth it. If you're a student with disabilities, please make sure that you contact me. The disabilities office contacts me and we get you what you need for this class. I know it looks different right now and things can be difficult, but just make sure that you let me know and we get that worked out for you. Okay, I'm going to talk about this last part when I do the first lecture, and that way it's going to freshen your brain. Okay? It's how to take notes and what you should be taking notes on. I don't have a course calendar in the syllabus because I'm going to keep that posted on the Canvas site, okay? So that's pretty much it for your syllabus. If you have any questions about any of this, make sure you email me, or the 3 before me is a good place, because if you have the question, then it might be, you know, a question for somebody else has as well. Okay. Let me think if I missed anything. I don't think I have. I think I've pretty much covered everything. There will be several more just kind of informational videos. I will do one on the paper so that, you know, I'm talking live rather than just you trying to read everything about what the paper is supposed to be about. So I'll talk about that a little bit quickly. Okay, so you'll have videos from me throughout the semester. Okay? I'm sure with something crazy going on in my house, because that's how it works. Okay, again, I hope that helps you kind of understand what's expected of you in class. And if you have any questions, again, please email me, come to office hours, or 3 before me discussion board on the home page is very helpful. Okay? See you soon in your first lecture. Bye.